And Minister, I'm glad I have the opportunity. I didn't think I would, given time restrictions, but to go back to this, the funding for the islands and recognising the islands as one sub-regional area. And you've said that you've had interaction with them and you've brought changes, but they've asked for that recognition. So when you brought in those changes, which are positive, I presume, what interaction did you have with the island representatives, bearing in mind that we had a packed AV room telling us how important this recognition was just in November?
Thank you, Deputy. As is the case with the current LEADER programme, the sub-regional areas for the new LEADER programme will correspond in the main with county boundaries, and the offshore islands will continue to be included with their relevant county for the delivery of the LEADER programme. While an island-specific area is not provided under the new LEADER programme, any group delivering the new LEADER programme in an area that includes islands will be required to include specific provisions such as island-specific actions with a ring-fenced budget and dedicated representation from the island community as part of the decision-making body. I've introduced these new requirements in recognition of the particular needs and priorities of island communities, and in light of the important role that LEADER can continue to play in delivering real benefits for island communities. I'm also satisfied that these new requirements will ensure that island communities will have a direct and meaningful involvement in the delivery of LEADER on the islands. The expression of interest stage to select the groups to deliver the next LEADER programme is now open, with a closing date for receipt of applications of the 16th of December. And I really would like to encourage all interested parties to now submit their proposals to ensure that we can continue to build on over 30 years of successful LEADER delivery across rural Ireland.
Thank you, Minister. And again, you're emphasising the changes made. But my question is, what interaction did you have in relation to those changes with the representatives of the islands? Are you telling me that they're happy with those changes and they've abandoned their campaign to be recognised as a sub-regional area? This is very important, because if we go back to the presentation in the AV room, they pointed out almost 40 years they're looking for this recognition. The funding was for a specific period and then went backwards. And then they pointed out that islands are specifically mentioned as a separate entity in the European Green Deal, the Just Transition Fund, the Clear Energy for the EU islands, the memorandum split, the structural funds, and so on, and the Articles 174 and 349 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union. So the message they were telling us, there are no obstacles from a European point of view in relation to the recognition. The obstacle is from the mentality here and the bureaucratic decision made to exclude them.
Thank you, Deputy. Well, just to say that officials from the Department are in regular communication with islands representative groups, Pobail, and Aire, and it is intended that this practice will continue. Department representatives attended the ILDN Council meeting, which was attended by Corn and Illan on September the 2nd last, and Department representatives met with the Chair and the CEO of Corn and Illan on the 25th of October. So there has been engagement between my officials and the islanders. And can I say that I want to make sure, because I am particularly conscious of the needs of islands, and I feel, and I've outlined it earlier, there are specific requirements where islands are included in the grouping that they will have an important role to play, and you know, there's no specific island-specific lag. But we are developing the island strategy, and we discussed that earlier. So I'm satisfied that the needs of the islands will be taken into account and will be delivered upon as part of this structure that we are proposing.
Margaret.
Yeah, you see, Minister, I know your heart is in the right place, and I've recognised your commitment on record. But my difficulty is, this was the presentation in the AV room, and they told us that it was absolutely essential to have the recognition as a sub-regional area, and the alignment with the counties does not suit the sustainability of the islands. It's as simple as that. Now, the interaction you had was prior to this. They made their views known in November. They've made their views known through all of my colleagues, all of the TDs here. Please don't persist with this structure of funding. It's not to the benefit of the islands. There's no EU barrier. The barrier is here somewhere in the minds. It's bureaucratic. And if I go back again to the policy of the islands, which you're telling me will be in your hands before the end of December and published, you might give me a date for next year. It has to be funded properly. And if they're not recognised as an entity, the funding is not fit for purpose. I'm sorry, Minister, but I have to disagree with you on this.